Hi, my name is Natalie Tomanchek, and this is our Reflection number 4 video. So, a little introduction to our video. Cities are shaped by ideas, technology, and the needs of all the people who live in them. Urban planning reflects society's values, priorities, and visions for the future. In our video, we are going to reflect on different approaches to city design and look at city what makes a city functional, sustainable, and livable. In addition to that, we will be exploring innovative ideas that continue to influence modern development today. So Frank Lloyd Wright wrote The Broadacre City, and he envisioned a decentralized urban model where every family owned 1 acre of land. In his paper, he kind of emphasized freedom, self-sufficiency, and individuality over a super dense urban living situation. And he proposed in his paper the integration of nature, technology, and architecture. Those things all being how an organic city that was shaped by the individual, sorry, not by institutions. So the main takeaway of this reading was that it rejected the traditional urban core, but offered a vision of democracy through design. So an outside source that we found was a 15-minute city, How to Build More Livable Cities. It was a TED Talk by Carlos Moreno in 2020. And he kind of talked about how people can access work, school, shopping, recreation within 15 minutes of their homes. He encouraged walkable neighborhoods, bike paths, and local services. He said that sustainability is supported through the reduction of car use and traffic emissions, and he promoted community connection and healthy lifestyles in his TED Talk. And then, so basically, the main takeaway of that was that compact, human-centered city designs help to make urban life more convenient and enjoyable.
Howdy, y'all. My name is Jonathan Trevino, and I'm doing week nine's first reading. This is The City Reader by Ebenezer Howard from 1898. So, in his introduction, he describes the social and environmental problems of the late 19th century urban areas. These problems include overcrowding, pollution, poor quality housing, and poverty and inequality. In contrast, the countryside offered fresh air, natural beauty, and peace, but it lacked the economic opportunities and social life that you would get by living in the city. So, Howard argues that both environments have strengths and weaknesses, that neither one alone provides ideal living conditions for people. Now, in the Town Country Magnet by Howard, he introduces his noteworthy three magnets diagram to display the three options people face. The first option is the town, also known as the urban area. It offers jobs, excitement, and opportunities, but also loudness, crampedness, and expensive housing costs. On the flip side, you have the country or the rural area. It offers beauty and peace, but it lacks social activity and work opportunity. And then finally, you have his new concept known as the town country, a new hybrid between both living situations that provides access to the advantages of both and minimizes the disadvantages of them too. The town and country magnet represents Howard's ideal setting, a planned community that welds the benefits of urban and rural life together whilst also minimizing their disadvantages. Now, Howard also proposed a garden city, which essentially was a city that was surrounded by a green belt to prevent sprawl. It also would be carefully laid out with housing, industry, and agriculture being weaved together in harmony. Public ownership of land would make sure that it stays affordable and it's for total community benefit. And then in addition to this, they'd only be designed for around 30,000 people with satellite towns connected by railroads so that nobody would truly feel isolated. These garden cities would have been economically self-sufficient, but connected to other towns and the main city, which would have formed a balanced urban-rural network. As for my external source, I chose this thing called The Foundations of the Garden City Movement. It discusses Howard's idea of combining town life and country life together in order to get the best of both worlds with minimal downside. It mentions the three forces that attract people to either town life, country life, or town country life. And additionally, Howard's Garden City model is displayed in detail and how it would address the inequalities and unhealthy conditions of industrial cities. Thank you.
Howdy, my name is Victoria Nell. The first outside source I'm going to be talking about is Urban Planning for Dummies, a book by Jordan Yin. Chapter 19, The Parts of Tins. There is always an improvement to be made, whether that be a yard, home, or an apartment, but especially a community. Yin had made a list of 10 ways to make your community a better place to live, work, and play. Make public places that people will love. These places should be worth people leaving their homes. Yin said the key that the people need to enjoy these places while they were there. Help people get where they're going. Transportation was the key. Multiple kinds, not just roads for cars. It needs bike lanes, bus routes, walking trails, sidewalks, etc. Not only does this make the community convenient, but it also connects people and buildings through relationships through the community. Pay attention to design details. Places should be attractive and easier to use. See what already works within the community and use that as a guideline. It's the minute details that count and will give that place a memorable memory. Make room for nature. Communities often have trees lined down the street, but that's not all it can have. Nature can also be, if the community is near a pond or a lake, if that land is undeveloped, you can use with minimal change, turn it into a park or walking trails. Or if the community does not have that, you can also create a community garden. Include different types of housing. Multiple housing structures makes for everyone has a place to live within the community and is not displaced. Figure out what types of housing the community needs the most. Jobs should also be commonly available nearby, as well as most of our common needs like groceries and pharmacies. Provide places for recreation, and good recreational opportunities within the community help improve the quality of life of the community. Again, Jan talks about seeing what you have and how well it works. You can also provide multiple options within the community using the bike trail, playgrounds, and parks. Build a sense of community. Be a part of the community that you live in, not just live there. Much like the small town's governments, find places and hold meetings discussing what's going on within the community. Embrace the culture that's surrounding you in the community. Revitalizing neighborhoods. Some existing neighborhoods are in need of improvement but do not have those resources. You would put certain shopping areas where residents that don't have the proper transportation could easily get to those goods. It also continues that finding ways to reuse vacant land would also be a great step in that direction. Grow smart. Change is very scary, but also very good. Focus on your community. Keep the community compact and keep in mind what would be very most useful and efficient. Make the first move. Making a great place is a lot of work, but it would have never happened if someone didn't have that idea first. Yin reminds us to always look for what works within that community. There is always going to be examples, but that doesn't mean we have to copy it to the T. Just use it as a guideline. Every project needs funding. Foundations, charities, and investors are our best friend. And be the person with the idea. Just be the leader. The next outside source I'm going to be talking about is How to Make a City Attractive by the School of Life. Modern urban planning is good at building, but has lost sight of what truly makes a city beautiful. An attractive city isn't all about functionality per se, but a city that feels alive and rooted in its culture. Balance, chaos, and order. A city should be built within strict plans for buildings, but not so strict that it's boring. Life. Communities that actually show human activity. Compactness. Denser populations use multi-use buildings instead of spreading out over land that can be kept undeveloped. A great example the video uses is the European squares and how it's an extension of one's home and how cozy it is without feeling trapped. Orientation and mystery. Cities need more straight-to-the-point streets, with also having the smaller streets that feels like it's a mystery you can get lost in. A great example of this is the streets in Paris, France. Scale. The anonymous glass tower, then the tall office buildings are all parts to the reveal of what city truly values. So the video are used to scale down to human-sized buildings, nothing more than 5 stories tall, to restore the horizon. Make it local. A city should reflect the culture and the climate it is in. No two cities should look the same. Doing this would ensure that communities would care about the city more because it would be more to them as a large family. Cities beauty shouldn't be treated as optional. When we do this, we miss out on building places that we actually enjoy. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Rylan Weatherford, and I did week 6, A Contemporary City. And in 1922, Le Corbusier designed a city meant to be modern, efficient, and organized. His goal was to fix problems like congestion and poor living conditions by improving transportation and city planning. The layout was based on logic and geometry, dividing areas for work, housing, and recreation. The city center had tall grass landscapers surrounded by open green spaces to represent progress and order. Traffic was separated specifically so that goods were moved underground, local traffic stayed at street level, and fast travel used elevated roads. Residential zones were kept away from industrial areas and surrounded by parks and gardens for fresh air and sunlight. Le Corbusier supported standardization and mass production in architecture to make cities more efficient and affordable. His vision reflected the modern values of technology, structure, and looking forward to the future. And here is some of the layouts that were in the readings. In conclusion, cities grow and evolve through the influence of ideas, technology, and the needs of their people. The way we plan and design urban spaces reveals what we value and envision for the future. By looking at different approaches to city design, we can see what truly makes a city functional, sustainable, and livable. Innovative concepts will continue to shape how cities develop and adapt for generations to come.